The swamp was full of folks climbing step by step to simulate a mountain hike. TV20's Hawa Ezel tells us what inspired this particular type of fundraiser.
You may have heard climb every mountain. You may even know someone with dreams of conquering Everest. But do you know about the Gator Mountain Challenge?
But we don't focus on cancer, we focus on the cancer patient.
Organizers of the Climb for Cancer Foundation held their third annual Gator Mountain Challenge at the University of Florida's Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. The challenge includes relay-style teams of 5 runners with an unlimited amount of people fundraising. Each team must raise at least $250. Participants are required to run up the stadium as fast as they can 4 times, which is the equivalent of climbing a 700-foot mountain. Co-founder Ron Farb started the foundation after climbing 5 of the 7 summits of the world.
The highest in North America, South America twice, Africa 7 times, Europe once, and Everest once.
He looks at climbing as a metaphor for getting through the hardships of cancer.
I was working at a camp for children with cancer, and I tried to find a way to raise more money than just writing a check and volunteering that 1 week. And I said, well, maybe I can raise some money with my hobby of climbing mountains.
Everything raised stays in this community. It goes to benefit patients being treated at UF Health, and we also support Ronald McDonald House, so everything stays here. So our whole mission is supporting the patient and their families in whatever way possible.
The fundraiser will be open on Climb for Cancer's website until the end of the week. Hawa Ezel, TV20 News.